The Sonoran Desert receives less than 8 inches of rain a year. Summer temperatures frequently break 115 degrees. Geographically, it is one of the most hostile environments in North America. Yet here sits a megacity of nearly 5 million people. Surviving here has always required massive mechanical intervention. Around 2,000 years ago, the Hohokam people carved hundreds of miles of irrigation canals into the hard earth using only stone tools, redirecting river water to grow crops in the dry dust. When 19th century settlers arrived, they dug out those exact same ancient pathways. They built an early agricultural economy around the 5 C's: copper, cattle, climate, cotton, and citrus, all sustained by water flowing through those revived trenches. Phoenix functions as a closed engineered system, sustaining its growth through the continuous, artificial manipulation of river flows. As early agriculture and the local population expanded, they quickly outpaced what the Salt River could reliably provide. The river was unpredictable, prone to swelling rapidly in the spring and reducing to a trickle during prolonged droughts. The solution was the Salt River Project and the construction of Roosevelt Dam, completed in 1911. This masonry structure allowed the region to capture and hold floodwater in massive reservoirs for inevitable drought years. Controlling the river meant the valley below no longer washed away in catastrophic spring floods, and its crops no longer withered during the scorching summers. Proactive water storage gave the valley a permanent baseline of resource security. Planners finally had the stability required to lay down a dense, permanent urban center. Following World War II, a sudden surge in population pushed demand well beyond the Salt River's capacity. To secure the city's future, Phoenix had to look over 300 miles west to claim its water allocations from the Colorado River. This map shows the 336-mile route of the Central Arizona Project, transporting water from Lake Havasu across the desert to Phoenix and Tucson. To complete this journey, 14 pumping stations lift the water 3,000 feet in elevation against gravity. The result is a highly visible artificial river cutting through the barren landscape, delivering millions of gallons directly to the edge of sprawling suburban subdivisions. By completing this aqueduct, Phoenix officially detached its growth limits from its local watershed. The city expanded its carrying capacity through sheer mechanical force. Importing water solved the aridity problem, but the extreme summer temperatures remained a hard ceiling on population growth and economic activity. Early residents fought the heat with makeshift water drip systems. By the 1930s and 40s, local metal workers pioneered the mass manufacturing of evaporative swath coolers, providing the first widespread relief. The arrival of refrigerated window units and central air conditioning revolutionized the housing market. Developers could now build dense tracts of homes that were comfortably habitable year-round. Indoor climate control directly attracted major post-war industries. Companies like Air Research and Motorola established research labs and high-tech manufacturing plants in the valley, shifting the economy away from agriculture. By removing the need for specialized architecture to manage heat, air conditioning allowed developers to mass-produce standard suburban homes and sell the desert as a year-round commodity to a national market. Today, this sprawling real estate grid is essentially a giant machine. It requires continuous, massive inputs of both electricity and water simply to function. Pumping billions of gallons of water uphill requires immense electrical generation. The Central Arizona Project is the largest single power user in the state. Generating that electricity also requires massive amounts of water. The Palo Verde nuclear plant, the state's largest power source, relies on tens of billions of gallons of recycled wastewater to cool its reactors. Phoenix is locked in a precarious feedback loop. The city requires massive amounts of water to generate power, and massive amounts of power to deliver water. The historical resource debts that funded the city's explosive growth are now maturing, right as the region faces a severe, decades-long drought. The physical decline of the Colorado River system has forced the federal government to mandate cuts to Arizona's imported water allocation as reservoir levels drop. While the cuts are severe, Phoenix manages a diversified water portfolio. The city combines its remaining Colorado River allocation with Salt River Project surface water and strictly regulated groundwater pumping to stay operational. The 20th century era of relying solely on engineering to import infinite resources has ended. Survival now requires aggressively managing and limiting demand. Modern systemic solutions are being deployed to balance the resource ledger. Initiatives like the Arizona Water Bank take surplus surface water and pump it deep into underground aquifers, storing it for future shortages. There is a sharp contrast between this mathematically strict water reality and the visual expectations of lush, water-intensive desert developments. This tension highlights the ongoing struggle to determine where the reach of technology finally hits the hard reality of desert geography. Phoenix exists because of a complex, artificial ecosystem that must now be radically recalibrated for an era defined by its limits.